Andy Warhol once said that in the future, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes. Well, the future is here, and Andy is wrong. Everyone can be famous for 30 minutes, at least once a week. Thanks to the growth of cable television, anyone, and I really mean anyone, can be a TV star. We are in a period of fantastic change that's coming about at fantastic speed.
The television was introduced in Queens, New York at the World Fair of 1939. It became the most significant technical and social advancement of modern times. By the 1960s, television was a carefully curated look into what America wanted to be. But as the networks grew more polished, more commercial, they began tightening their control over what was said over their network's programming.
They had tremendous control over the media that people consumed.
So that the people in the Midwest or some areas that aren't in urban areas get no reality of the actual facts, the problems of the black people, the problems of the young people, is never reflected in television. It has to be.
In the early 70s, two significant events were unfolding: the growing desire of the average American to be heard and the emergence of cable television. These coinciding events converged and gave birth to a democratic experiment, giving the first ever public access channels to New York City.
The technical capability for the average citizen to express his point of view is becoming a reality.
That's very good news for us. For the first time, we have access mandated in legislation on a national basis.
This was an attempt to create a broadcast system serving the public interest.
And I think what public access can do is open up television for the entire community. But I think we have the time on public access for any group and any organization to take advantage of it.
You know, the presumption was that it would be, education and current affair debates and stuff like that. And there is some of that, but I mean, it opened the door to all kinds of craziness.
Okay, be careful.
In your fallout shelter!
But you suck as a rapper, you lollipop-sucking dick motherfucker. Die!
This is free speech. I guess this is allowed that people can do this.
Hang on. It was a free-for-all. You could literally do anything and everything. You couldn't really ban people.
New York public access was definitely thriving, and there was a lot of programming.
More fallout tonight after a stripper takes it off on public access television.
See that? See that?
A happy thought.
A happy thought is I'm having sex right now.
All right.
It's not like they had to approve your program concept. You just said, I want to do a show, and you could do whatever you wanted.
I mean, listen, I'm not delusional. Some of it's really hard to watch, but I can also look back and say, we were doing some funny shit.
It's the whole point is there's no intermediary. There's no editor or standards and practices being you can't say that or you can't do that in a way that you couldn't on a lot of the broadcast channels.
At the time, public access channels were the only channels that could air mature or controversial content, as censorship would violate cable franchise agreements and free speech.
In the past, the Scott and Gary Show has been accused of being the show that destroys people's minds.
No.
Yes.
Basically what happened is we got kind of banned for life on a technicality.
We're here to demand what is naturally our right.
When you are not a part of the traditional way of doing things, you are not going to be loved or accepted by the professional politicians.
Public access pushed boundaries of free speech, allowing communities to represent themselves in a world who refused to include them in the conversation.
And this is the New York Times. Now, it's not a remarkable edition of the New York Times, but it happens to be the first day that a new policy in its existence. The Times has decided to use the word gay. Applause?
Good evening and welcome to the premiere of Gay Cable Network's Pride and Progress.
The whole idea of communities having the ability to speak. It was just so clear and, and just especially the dispossessed, especially the poor.
All the things that Lou Maletta covered in the 80s, nobody else was covering that stuff.
That is nothing that a commercial broadcaster has any interest in showing you.
This is when people are going to jail for 20 years. This is, Stonewall time. This is the world was really hostile.
If you were asked to speak anywhere, you just went. You just wanted to get the word out. So it's all about wanting to get the word out. And all kinds of communities have that desire.
So it did better in terms of engendering trust that we all live in the same world with the same basic understanding of what's happening in front of our faces.
This is the story of a governmental experiment that protected free speech by pushing the boundaries of it.